Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to my Real Talk series here on the channel where I review movies and let you all know what I think about them. And I've got another one coming at you today. And if you have been watching all of my recent videos, then you'll know that I recently did a video on the first installment of the Sex and the City movie franchise. And overall, I liked that movie. You can go check out that video in my channel. If you're not already a subscriber, make sure you subscribe so that way you can go check out all of my videos and all of the movies that I reviewed in this series. Also, if you are not already a follower on my Instagram page, I've got a lot more movie reviews over there. I've been typing some up for a 30-day movie challenge. And so if you want some more stagnant reviews, you can go check those out. And I also have a lot of other videos on my Instagram TV, including unboxing videos, giveaways, and more. And I also have lots of discount codes for a lot of fashion brands. So make sure that if you or someone you know is into any of those things, then go give me a follow and share my content with others so they can get those great discounts and deals. Now, back to this video. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the second movie of the Sex and the City movie franchise, Sex and the City Part 2. Now, overall, I liked the first film. I would go and watch that one again. It gave a nice as much as I was like, why did they make a movie based on this series when the series ended in such a nice place? Then they went and made a second one, which I have a lot stronger feelings against this movie. Now, I will also say, just like I did in the first part of this review, like if you watched the Sex and the City movie part 1 review, if you've not seen Sex and the City, the series, you're going to want to go watch that first because it gives you a lot of insight into who these characters are and why they are doing the things that they're doing. And if you watch it out of context, even if you watched the first movie and then watched the second, like if you watched the movies together, you would be okay. But it's better if you watch the whole series first because then you get to understand the drama that happens in the film. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, lots of things to cover here. We'll start with the bottom right picture. Carrie and Big are officially married, and that's a small spoiler because at the end of the first movie, and like I said, some spoilers, at the end of the first movie, they finally get married. And if you're a fan of the series, you know that that was a long time coming. And even the first movie, we weren't even sure if they were ever going to make it. So Carrie and Big are married in this film, and they are attending the wedding of their two friends, Stanford and Anthony. So Stanford is Carrie's gay best friend in the series, and Anthony is Charlotte's gay best friend in the series. And the two of them decide to get married and tie the knot in a big gay wedding. And that's what they call it in the film. So Carrie is the best man in the film, and that's how the movie kind of all starts off. And that was a way to bring all of these supporting characters in it one last time because after the wedding, it's just the girls and you don't see Steve, you don't see Big, you don't see Stanford and Anthony again in the series. So it was their way of like bringing everybody back on screen together one last time. So that way they could tell this story and have it just be about the girls for the final moments of this series. In this film, Samantha gets the opportunity to go to the Middle East for a PR stunt. So you can see them eating breakfast and then walking through the desert. And as for New York City women who love to talk about sex and their feminism, having to dress and adhere to the Middle Eastern rules for women, not being public with your affection, covering up your chest and your shoulder areas. That was very hard, and it provided some aspect of comedic relief for these four women and them trying to adjust to these new laws. And then the biggest and most pivotal moment in this movie is Carrie runs into one of her ex-boyfriends, Aiden, played by the fabulous John Corbett. And Aiden was probably Carrie's best boyfriend in the whole series. And he treated her the best out of everyone, in my opinion. And probably they should have ended up together, but her heart was with Big. Why? We'll never know. So anyway, Carrie runs into Aiden at this market in the Middle East, which is like of all things, why would that happen? They end up going to dinner together, and then, of course, because it's Carrie, drama ensues, and she has like damage control to do with her new husband, from thousands of hundreds of thousands of miles away, like they're overseas from each other. So she has to call him, and it ends up being a little bit of a mess. So with this movie, the pros were that it brought an end to some of the remaining storylines. Stanford, Anthony, you got to see Charlotte's new baby, which was exciting. And you kind of get to see how this is what she's always wanted. And then in the movie, she kind of is struggling with how to do it. And she's got a daughter that's like 4 or 5 years old, and then a brand new baby. And so she's trying to balance those. And her and Miranda have a really full frontal honesty scene at a bar where they kind of just share their parental strifes, I guess you could say. They just like vent to each other a little bit about how hard it is to be a mom, and I really liked that scene in the movie. John Corbett is another pro. It was nice to see him back in the franchise again. He has a couple short cameos towards the end of the series, but then we had not seen him since his cameo in like season 5, or early in season 6, when Carrie finds out that he's married and has a kid. So seeing him back on screen and seeing him and Carrie together was a nice pro. Now, the cons. This movie proved to me that Carrie really never learned her lesson or like grew as a person. She goes through all of this drama. Again, I'm just one person. This is just my opinion and my thoughts when watching this movie. I'm not looking for any like hate mail or anything like that about how, like, this is just my opinion about my thoughts on Carrie as a character. And she goes through this whole drama, this whole movie about Big leaving her at the altar and then them actually getting married and all of that, just to have dinner with Aiden and kiss him, and then be like kiss him and cheat essentially on her new husband. And that's the reason why her and Aiden broke up in the first time, was because she was having an affair with Big. So it's like, what is it about, like, you cannot, like, I understand there's passion, there's history, whatever, but she, in my opinion, doesn't have a lot of self-control when it comes to these men, and she doesn't ever like really grow. Like, I would have rather her not kissed Aiden, like just went to dinner and said, I'm sorry, I can't do this, which is what he ends up saying. I'm sorry, it was a mistake, blah, blah, blah. That's what he ends up saying. She doesn't end up, she like covers her mouth, but I just feel like she doesn't grow or evolve in this whole series. Like, we've watched her go date men after man, cheat on somebody, sleep with somebody else this whole time, and be in a really good relationship and then be thinking about Big, or having calls from him, or phone sex. We've seen it all from her. And I just really wanted her to, like, now that she was married, like, just stop all of that. And that's not what happened. I honestly could not tell you what the point of this movie was, other than the fact that they go to the Middle East. I don't know, other than they go there for a PR stunt. I don't know why they went there. I don't know what the purpose was, other than it was to help Samantha's company, or for Samantha's company. So the plot of this movie kind of gets lost in translation, if you will, because they do have to translate most everything that they say when they're over there, and they were learning how to speak these different languages. So the plot for me kind of gets lost. Like, I don't know why they went to why the Middle East. They could have went on a PR stunt anywhere. So why the Middle East? I think it was just supposed to be funny, and it just ends up being really silly. And it just is stupid. I was watching it and I was kind of sick, like under the weather at the time. So I was just like watching it because I always like to watch movies when I'm sick. And I was just watching it like, when is this going to be over? I felt like it was really long, even though it probably wasn't even that long, but I just felt like it drug out, and I just wanted it to be over, and I just wanted to be done watching this movie. And then the supporting characters, Steve, Stanford, Anthony, Harry, all these people that we've grown to love over this series, and even the first movie, are not even in the film for the whole second half, if not the last 3 quarters. They're in the beginning. We get to see Harry a little bit, and then there's this whole storyline with her nanny. But like after that, it's just like we don't, they revisit them at the very, very end. They come back, and so everybody gets like a short little snippet at the end. But all of these supporting characters that made this series what it was, and they're just gone to focus on the four girls, which I understand. That's the premise of the series, that your friends are your soulmates, and as long as you have friends, like, you don't need a man and whatever, everybody needs good girlfriends. I get that. But I just it just didn't hit. Like, it didn't land with me. I just thought it was kind of silly. They should have stopped after the first movie. So I'm giving Sex and the City, the movie part 2, a D. I did not like this movie. I won't be watching it again. I just thought it was really silly, and they should have just stopped after part 1. They should have stopped after the series, frankly, because the series ended everything super nice. But I did like what the movie brought to the characters. And it kind of brought everybody what they always wanted. So I think that was a great place to stop. And this movie just didn't meet the mark. Just didn't. It's not the worst movie that I've ever watched, but it's definitely, like I said, I won't be watching it again. So that's my review of Sex and the City, the movie part 2. If you have any different thoughts, respectfully put those in the comments. Or if there's a movie that you want me to watch, make sure you put that in the comments as well. And I hope you guys have enjoyed my recent uploads, and get ready for more coming soon. I'll see you then. I'll see you in the next video.